What's up, y'all? Hooksetz with Ryan here. In today's video, I'm going to do a walkthrough on my DIY, do-it-yourself rod holder setup that I made out of PVC pipe for my Hobie Pro Angler 12. Let's get into it. Now, one of the most important things in kayak fishing, kayak bass fishing in general, is setting up your rods to for you to be comfortable on the water while you're out there fishing. There's so many different ways to set up your rods. I mean, they got everything from, everybody's using the original milk crate they've been using for years. They got black packs. There's just so many different ways to set them up. I wanted something a little bit different. I wanted to kind of go a different route with this specific boat that I have on the Hobie Pro Angler 12. I also didn't come up with this idea. I stole this idea off a buddy in the club that I fish in Queen City Kayak Bass Fishing. I seen his boat one day and I seen his little rod holder set up on his Pro Angler 12. Oh, well, he has a Pro Angler 14, but I seen it and I was like, that's exactly how I want mine for my boat when I, get it. And that's what I ended up doing. I ended up kind of doing the same setup as him. Shout out to Chris for showing me his setup. So I figured this would be a great video to share with some people that are kind of interested in kind of creating their own DIY setup for their fishing kayak out of PVC. So let's get into it. So here it is. This is 1.25" PVC pipe. You can get it any hardware store, Lowe's, Home Depot, anywhere like that. The materials you're going to need to build this setup for your Hobie Pro Angler, specifically for a Hobie Pro Angler, you're going to need 8 foot of 1.25" PVC pipe. You're going to need 4 1.25" T adapters, and you're going to need 4 1.25" cross T adapters. And you're going to need some screws. You're going to need a torch. That way you'll be able to heat up the PVC to make the angle for the rod holders to slide right into the molded in rod holder. So this right here, you can kind of see how I had to heat up, put an angle on the PVC for it to fit perfectly in the back of the Pro Angler. It's a 2-piece setup. Well, it's 2-piece setup on each side, but you can see it drops right in. I don't want to screw this to this other piece right here. So I'm able to, drop it in place just like that. And a bungee, you can actually, what I do, I bungee this to the existing paddle clip that comes on the Hobie Pro Angler, and it's not going to go anywhere. I mean, it is sturdy. What I did right here, I just basically glued these ends together right here, and I added some extra screws just to kind of reinforce it so it wouldn't move. I made some extensions to be able to hold my longer rods. Just basically cut some smaller pieces, and they drop right down into the T. When you're building this, I had the option of putting the caps, buying the PVC caps for the 1.25" PVC. Unfortunately, when I built this, Lowe's was out of the end caps for the PVC, so I don't have them installed. I might install them later down the road. The PVC just sits directly on the deck. It's not going to hurt it or anything. I mean, you don't have a lot of weight on this rod setup with just having 4 rods on it. You don't have hardly any weight at all, so you don't have to worry about it damaging the deck or anything like that. What's really cool about this setup is that I have the option to take 4 rods on that side and 4 rods on this side, but the way I set this up and built this was to be able to make it where my camera setup will drop right in place at this front rod holder right here in the front. Now I have the option of running my camera without spending a bunch of money buying, camera poles or anything like that. It's very sturdy, doesn't move. And then that kind of makes it where I only run 3 rods on this side. What's also really cool is the fact that I have the option now of taking a bag, throwing a bag in the back with Plano boxes. Or I can even slap a cooler back here. Still have my rods on the side. You even have the option of, if you're not taking a bunch of tackle out with you and you're fun fishing one day, you can even bring your small dog back here and he'll still have a place to hang out back here. That's a good thought as well. Me personally, this setup is ideal for the way I fish. I mean, I don't take a lot of tackle out with me. I usually take about 2 or 3 Plano boxes, some soft plastics, and 6 or 7 rods. That's my usual setup that I always go out with. I know some guys that takes 8 to 10 Plano boxes every time they go out and fish, and that's just not me. I like to keep it as simple as possible when I go out, and I feel like this setup right here is very simple. That way you don't have to bring all that extra weight on the kayak with you. The total amount of money that I have invested in this DIY setup for my fishing kayak is about $57. It's not too bad. I mean, it's cheaper than a black pack. This setup is ideal for me, but if you're interested in this setup, you know, that's what it's going to run you, you know, about 50, in that 50 something dollar range. Guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video on my build, on my DIY rod holder setup for my Hobie Pro Angler, go ahead and smash that thumbs up button for me. And if you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, go ahead and do that as well. And thanks for watching. Y'all have a super awesome day. See you on the next fishing adventure.